What are these questions that I feel could help you to get there? Number one question that everybody that wants to be a history maker must answer. Want to be a man of significance, a mover and a shaker in your generation? Number one question. That is the same question that Moses asked. You need to ask it. And you must get the answer before you can move on and do something of meaning in life. That question is simple and it says, who am I? That's what Moses said. Who am I? Who am I to face this challenge? Who am I to resolve this situation? Who am I? My friend, we all must come to a place where we need to answer that question. All of us ask that question to ourselves, but not all of us take the time to answer. If you just keep on asking that question and you never get the answer to it, you never get to act because it paralyzes you. But when Moses got the answer to the question, who am I? You know what he did? He stepped out. You know the reason why most of us are not stepping out yet? We didn't get the answer to that question yet. By the time you begin to authentically answer yourself that question, you will be so full of boldness that any kind of mountain that is standing before you will look like a plain ground. Any kind of valley that is standing before you will look like a smooth ground. Any kind of rough pathway, you will know that's no challenge. By the time you begin to answer that question. So when I got to Russia, he's a black man in Europe. Then it's one thing as a black man in Europe I studied to be a journalist. So it's one thing to just be a journalist and just work in the secular, just have a job. I could still try to, make my way and be a good journalist. It's one thing for me as a black man to be a businessman. Okay? Try, work hard, buy and sell. But then to try to build a church in a continent where people are so proud of their inheritance or they don't care for it. These are people who believe we rule the world. Nobody rules us. We rule the world. Then where are you coming from? From Africa. We just set you free 60 years ago from colonialism. What do you want to come and do? You don't want to come and work and do some menial jobs? You want to come and do what? Teach us how to live? No, wait a minute. It's easier for us to send you back to where you're coming from. We'll just deport you. I'm talking of societies. I'm talking of a society where kids were running up to me and saying, Mommy, why has uncle not taken his bath? Why is this so dirty? And now I want to change. Wait a minute. They will even think you've lost your mind. Sincerely. With all seriousness, they will think this guy has lost his mind. It's not common. It's not. So I needed to answer that question. So I needed to push into God. Who am I? I'm a believer. Well, are there few believers in the land? None of them is saying, I'm going to change the country. Even though you are a believer, we have believers who are better looking than you. We have believers who are citizens. We have believers who have passport and registration. We have believers who are businessmen. We have believers who are successful. We have believers who are somebody. Those are challenges. You must get an answer to that question. Because it's in that answer you get your boldness. It is in that answer you get your energy to go all the way, to make all this necessary sacrifice, to risk, and to still believe you will come out successfully. Who am I? I know I'm Sunday, but that's not enough. Who am I? I'm a believer, but that's rubbish. We have millions of them. I'm a pastor. Are you the only one? Who am I? That's when you begin to think, oh, I might be bigger than just my name. Oh, there might be something in me bigger than just my profession. Oh, there might be something about me bigger than what I do. And what is that? Destiny. God's mandate. Oh, okay. What was it? Let's find that out. That's what I'm talking about. You now understand why I was so desperate. I had to refuse the food, family for some time, fellowship, telephone calls, church. I needed to get this answer if I'm really going to make any significance or any difference in the society where God has placed me. And I got the answer. For me, I was a deliverer. For me, I was a Moses that needed to break his way through a path that has never been tread before. That should be ready to be hated by all. To be fought, to be resisted, to be challenged, and to still come through, because you discover I am means I can do it. If I am who he says I am, then I'm going to become so. Then I'm going to be able to do what he says I should do. He doesn't just send anybody here for nothing. Everyone he sent to the earth, he's got a mission for him. Only you must discover it. Nothing like, maybe I didn't really have any assignment. Nothing like that. Maybe I just kind of I didn't have any vision by God. Or he never gave me any assignment or mission or purpose. I'm just the kind of guy that's supposed to be just here. And no. There is nothing God does without a mission. He doesn't begin to create anybody to come to the world without have already determining in his heart the mission and the purpose for why he needed to create that person. That's why he's the Alpha and Omega. It means beginning and the end. That means he knows the end before he begins to create. What's your name now? Will you come here tomorrow? Could you tell us how old you are? 19. Tamala, right? Taimania. Now, Taimania, 19 years ago, you were conceived by your parents. They thought they just fell in love, and God blessed them with a baby daughter, but it's not true. Before God made them to meet each other, he had an assignment and a job description, a mission, a work that's supposed to be completed and accomplished somewhere called New Zealand. He had seen the cry of my people before he went to find Moses. The assignment always preceded the deliverer. So the cry, the problem of Egypt, the problem of bondage of Israel in Egypt was there a long time before Moses was born. It was for that problem God allowed him to be conceived. Following me? That's why when they were now killing all the boys, he couldn't get killed because he was conceived for an assignment. So God, therefore, is the Alpha and Omega. Is a beginning and the end in the same person, in the same place, at the same time. He first of all finishes it before he begins to create it physically. You getting me? So you are not here for fun. You are not here for waste. You are not here for nothing. But few men get to believe that. And few men really get to do what they were sent for because they never get to believe it. But because God needed that assignment, maybe you don't still know it yet. But there must be a time in your life when you begin to hear message like this. When God begins to trigger a surge in you. When you begin to ask yourself some questions. But because there will be a lot of distractions as well. There is a time when you will be 22, maybe 23, maybe 25, and then you will see all your girlfriends getting married. Then you begin to think, maybe after all, I'm a woman, I'm just supposed to get married and get some children, that's all. And when you begin to do that, then you discover, oh, these kids take a lot of time. Well, maybe that's just a full-time assignment. So there are a lot of things to derail you. Such with men. Men begin to think, oh, guys are supposed to be tough. Maybe I'm supposed to just be a tough guy, a macho, having all lovers all around and just being tough and doing some radical things. Thereby losing or missing the eternal destiny for which heaven actually sent them here. We are all sent here on a mission. There will be a lot of distractions, like getting a good job. That could be a distraction. Because you're saying, I have a good job, get a good salary, I'm okay. But you still begin to find out, despite the fact that I'm a Christian, I have a good job, there's still some level of emptiness. I'm no more fulfilled. I'm not so happy. I'm doing well. I'm going good Christian, go to church, but no fulfillment. Because you must answer that question. Who am I? Am I just here to get a job? That would be a disgrace. That would be a laughter. Who am I? So, because God is Alpha and Omega, He had actually had the assignment you needed to do before you were actually conceived. That's why He spoke about Jeremiah. Before you were conceived in your mother's womb, that's before they met with the Father, I knew you. And I had appointed you to be somebody specific, a prophet. But he needed to get to that place. He needed to grow into it. Who am I? That's the first question. You need to ask yourself that question. And you need to ask God that question. And that's what makes the difference between achievers in life and just people who just add to the statistics. Thank you. So, who am I? That is a question of self-consciousness. Self-consciousness. And it is also a question of alignment with eternity. Alignment with eternity. Alignment with eternity. Alignment with eternity. And getting to the heart of God and getting to know concretely. Like John the Baptist, he was only supposed to assist another man. That's why he was born. Prepare the way. And once that is done, he had to go back to heaven. Then some people will say, what a tragedy, he died so early. No. If God fulfilled. He didn't die tragically. No. He was taken home when he fulfilled. He had prepared the way. And the king had come. He had to withdraw.